friends. Are you excited to see what we made in the craft cottage this week? Well, I'm excited to show you some no paint, no fuss, no glue, vintage thrift flips. Let's get started. I picked up this beautiful vintage piece off of Facebook Marketplace. It was part of a lot, and I paid $15 for the entire lot. There were quite a few pieces involved. I believe this looks like it could have come off of a vintage armoire, and I just think that it is beautiful as is. But we are going to grab some IOD transfers, put a few transfers on it, and make it even more beautiful. So I'm just going to clean it up. There were some weird nail placement on the back. I took those out. I took a damp cloth and just wiped it all down because it had been in her garage. It had been in my garage. So we just got it all cleaned up so that the transfers will adhere nicely. I did not seal this. I did not put any kind of top coat or anything on it. Now, I did not get a lot of footage of putting the transfers on, but by the time this video is over, if you do not know how to apply an IOD transfer, then I just can't help you. I'm sorry. But we're going to pull it off the backing. We're going to lay it down on our piece and just press with the little tool that comes in the package and just gently lift the vellum piece that's on the front, excuse me, and keep pressing until all of it lifts off nicely. If some of it comes off with your vellum sheet, you just lay it back down and keep pressing. Once it's done, take the vellum sheet and burnish your transfer down. Sometimes I just use my hand, sometimes I use the transfer. I took this transfer from the St. Germain IOD transfer booklet and cut it all up. These are beautiful florals, and I just cut them all up and made them work how I wanted them to on this piece. I do find that the tiny little pieces where there's like tiny little stems or tiny little edges, they're a little bit harder to get to transfer down. So you just have to take your time, apply a little bit extra pressure, and go ahead and be patient, and it will just press down really nicely. Look how beautiful these florals are. They are just so pretty. And I'm just ready for spring and new life and florals. I'm just over all this cold weather and everything already. You can see I just left this little clip in so you could see how long it actually takes me to figure out what I'm going to put and where I'm going to put it. Not even going to use that. Cut it out, decided I wasn't even going to use it. Then I'm going to cut another piece, deciding how I'm going to do it. I just left this footage in just for you. You're welcome. But it's a little bit long, but just so you see that it just doesn't come easy just cutting out transfers and throwing them on there. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. Now, you can just pull them off and put them on however you want, but I like to and sometimes I have to cut it really close to get a visual of what it's going to look like. So that's how I decided that I liked it. So we're going to cut off that little extra piece. I'm putting it down so I can see exactly what I want to do. Oh, I cut it off after I got it off the vellum, after I pulled the vellum off. Okay, so I'm going to transfer it down, or maybe I put it around the edge. Oh, I did, wrapped it around the edge, which is a nice little look as well. I'm going to put this in I have a room that, I think I have a video that shows this room somewhere way back in the archives. That is, I call it my grandma room, and it has the table that was my grandmother's that I sat at when I was a child, and it's beautiful to me, probably not much to anybody else, but this is going in that room. And just look how beautiful this turned out. Now we do want to seal in our transfers and the finish, so you can use a top coat of any clear top coat or spray finish, but I'm going to use the clear DIY wax because I love how it looks on wood. So I'm going to use this makeup brush that I've used a million times with the wax, and I'm just going to use an old piece of t-shirt that I've cut off and use it to buff. So here we go. Ready, set, go. Well, I'm just throwing stuff around, I guess. Thank goodness I didn't throw that can. Okay, so just put it in. I mean, this is super simple. You just put it in. A kid could do it. You just put it on. You don't put anything in. Well, I guess you put it in the nooks and crannies. Just put it all over. Make sure you're getting an even coat all over. And then we're going to take that little white cloth and wipe off the excess. Well, I'm going to show you the whole thing. I guess since I felt bad that I didn't show you more footage of the transfers, I would just show you all the waxing. But anyway, I did it not as intentional around the molding pieces, but I did do it around that too, but I did it more intentional around the transfers. Then I'm just wiping back the excess and buffing around those. Oh, I forgot the edges. Let's get the edges. Yep, got to get those edges. And this project is complete as soon as I decide to quit moving my camera around. I'm crafting inside my house because if you watch me regularly, you know that I am doing some reorganization out in the craft cottage, and I just cannot get out there to craft. So that's why I'm crafting in my living room. This project is going to be a vintage ironing board. I picked this up in Round Top, Texas. My friend and I went to the Round Top vintage sale. I don't know what you call it. I paid $10 for this vintage ironing board. I was so excited about it, put it in the garage and forgot about it. So this was a good chance to, since I was doing vintage makeovers, to get this out and work on it. I had a vision for it when I bought it, so let's see if I can make it happen. So I decided to take the cover off, and I was hoping that it would be a nice piece of wood under there, but yeah, that cover was disgusting, just let me tell you. And looks like somebody burned it. I don't know how that burn happened, but it got burned. The finish was not exactly what I had thought it would be.
Okay, so this is what it looks like after I got the cover off, the little burn spot. I kind of like that character, but it's really rough and it looks like it almost, I don't know, it's just rough and I really need to sand it. I don't think that transfers are going to adhere to this really well. So I'm going to take it outside and give it a good sand and we're going to paint it.
Okay, the sanding is going well. It's sanding down very nicely, except of course the little burnt corner, bless its little heart. It got pretty smooth. So we are not going to paint it. We are going to use the IOD wallflower transfers. These flowers are so bright and so beautiful. I knew this is exactly the transfers I wanted to use on this ironing board when I purchased it. So I have been saving them for such a time as this. So I don't know why I'm showing you so much of the transfers, but here we go. So first of all, I'm going to cut out this large one. And I'm not going to cover the entire ironing board with it, but just watch and see. You'll see what I do. So we're going to cut them out. It's the same process as before. This video is going to be a little bit redundant, but there is a technique right here that I'm going to show you that I'm not really that great at, but I did make it happen. That white flower on the left that I'm peeling right now is where you can add the other part of the white flower that's also in the packet, and it's supposed to be like seamless if you need it for a bigger project. But I'm not real good at putting those together, unfortunately, but it looks fine. It looks fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So just rub across it. Okay, so remember when I told you that transfers that have tiny little pieces are harder to press down and all. Well, this one, because do you see how much color is in this? Just watch how easy this one comes up. See how easy that comes up because it's a lot of transfer and less little tiny edges. When you have all those little tiny edges that are intricate, those are the harder ones to transfer, like the leaves up top, the stems up top, and the tiny little edges when it's, you know, detailed. So this one came off really quickly and really easily. Now I had to kind of come at it from a different angle here. It just really wasn't wanting to lift up there. So if you go at it from a different angle, come at it from a different angle. I even cut that big old large piece, and that seemed to help me be able to get it to lift up a little better. I'm just going to burnish it in and wipe off all the little crusties, and look how pretty. Okay, here's the little white one. You can see where the pieces, they just fit in like a little puzzle, but you have to be careful because there is a little clear, I don't know, edge, little clear, I don't know. Leave me in the comments, leave a comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. Like if you don't line it up just right, you have a little space, but it looks like to your eye that you're lining up good. But I think I did good. I think it looks great. This is the big, no, this isn't the biggest one. I put a big one on the very bottom. So I just took some more and I just made them all look like they were coming in off the sides because we're going to add some more detail to it in just a little bit. Oh, let me get a little sip of tea and we'll move on. Got to have a little refreshment. Okay, just a little more. I'm just showing you how I did them. Now this one was a large one too, and I cut it round to go around the bottom of this, and I'm just going to ignore that burn spot, act like it's not there, even though it is. And these, just look at these colors. Oh, I love these flowers. It will not stick to that burned area, but that's okay. That's okay. And you see how quick and easy this one comes up, and you see the trouble I have is where there's the tiny little detail, the edges. Otherwise, yeah, see, so I'm just going to rip that off. I'm just going to rip it off the burnt spot because it's not going to adhere,
Okay, here's
and
what I
that's
have
fine.
so far. I was
Now
going
that
to
I've
leave
got
it
all the transfers
just
on
like
where
this,
I want
wax
them,
it and be done. But,
this is how it
you
turned
know,
out. This is
a
how
little
it looks right
extra.
now.
So we're going to add some stamps to it.
I'm
So
going to
hang on
come
tight.
in
Here we
with
go.
some IOD stamps. See them up there? Yep, we're going to use the ephemeral type IOD stamps. Now, I'm going to tell you, I also use the kindest regards, and I wish I would have used kindest regards on all of it, but I didn't. So it still looks good. It still looks good, and you can see this is the process, friends. This is the process over and over, just guessing and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth till I decide what I want to do. But yeah, so just stamp up the stamps. I didn't bring in an extra carrier sheet, so I'm just using the one that goes over the stamps when you store them, and it works just fine. So I'm going to press this down. I'm holding it with one hand while I press with the other, being very careful not to let this shift at all, because when it shifts, that's when it blurs, when you get a blur. Lift straight up, and that is gorgeous. That one I love. I love, love, love. The two that I do up top are not my favorite. This one right here and the next one. Yeah, that one's just not my favorite, and this one. I don't know. I don't know. They're just not my favorite. I do love how this one looks on there. I just wish I would have done probably more of the kindest regards up top. So now I'm getting out the kindest regards, and I'm going to put just a little piece right there, but I really wish I would have put more of that up top, some of that script. I don't know. But I do like how it turned out, but we are our own worst critic, right? Right. So I'm going to just put parts of it on here, and yeah, I'll just let you watch me stamp away. Stamping away. We could make a song out of that. We should take some songs and make them crafting songs. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You tell me if you would have put the stamps on or if you would have just added more transfers. Let me know if you like the stamps. Okay, once this piece gets completely dry and we let the ink completely dry, then we're going to seal it with our clear wax. Same process as before. Here we go, chunking stuff again. Okay, lots of wax because this wood is thirsty. It's been heated up. You know, that iron just dried it out. So I used a lot of wax on this. And look how that DIY wax brings out the beautiful wood colors. I love it. I love the DIY wax, clear wax on natural wood. And then I'm just going to do the same process with that little piece of t-shirt and buff it and take off the excess. And she turned out beautiful. This window was also in that lot that I got off Facebook Marketplace. There were two of these, and that first vintage piece from the furniture that I got, there was a lamp, there were mason jars with zinc lids, there was a Coca-Cola crate, there were a lot of pieces in there, a big huge mirror, um, and I got it all for $15. So we're just going to clean this up, and it did have spiders crawling out of it, little teeny tiny spiders. I'm not going to lie. I had to really despiderize it. But anyway, I'm going to use the Saint Germain um, florals again because they're just beautiful. And I'm going to use this one across the top. Now, I really struggled with what to put on this one. And so in my grandma room, in a video a couple years ago, I did a window with it didn't have the panes in it. And I did some picture frames and a heart and made a collage in that frame and put it in that room. And if I can remember, I'll link that video in the description box. And when I went to do something in that there with that frame, I went to get the heart out of the frame that has my grandmother's signature on it. I was going to see if the words off the frames would fit in this picture, in this window frame. And the beads on the picture frames all started falling off. So I just decided that I was going to use the heart on this, and then I took the picture frames apart. So stay tuned in a future video because I'm going to be remaking those picture frames, and this is going to go in my grandma room as well. It's a very vintage room. So that's where I do my intros with that blue background. That is my grandma room. So I have a lot of things that were my grandmother's and my grandpa's and both grandmothers. And yeah, it's just my little vintage room. I absolutely love it. I don't know if it was supposed to be a study or a formal dining room or what that little room is, but it's just a small little room in the front of my house, and I love it. So here's the little heart with my grandmother's signature. And I said we weren't going to use glue, but this DIY sort of took a different turn. So I have this ribbon that I've had in my stash for a couple of years, and it's the ribbon that just keeps giving. It's the ribbon that I used on this heart. You can see it in that bow. And this is my grandmother's signature. I took it off of a birthday card that she gave me, used my Cricut to cut it out, and we're just going to make it look like it's hanging from this ribbon. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue and scrunch it up and then glue it behind the heart, right sort of in the middle. I've tried to get it in the middle, but it's sort of in the middle, close enough. It works. And then I'm going to put just a little dab of glue on the bottom of the heart to kind of keep it in place while I'm working here. And sometime today I'm going to do that. Okay, right now. And then I'm going to put it right there and press it down, let that hot glue cool off. I'm going to put a tiny little piece of glue on each side. I'm only showing you one side because this thing is kind of big. It's hard to get it all in the camera and you be able to see what I'm doing. I did the same thing on both sides. So I'm going to wrap the ribbon around to the back side and then just glue it down. And then this is how it looks.
thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I appreciate it so much. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Leave me an emoji. Let me know you were here. I love to see your comments. But most of all, I want you to remember to be still and know that He is God.